The death of the $10 click. Google's search volume is no longer the metric that matters now that 40% of retail queries are being resolved by autonomous agents without a single human click. The April earnings report revealed a quiet 4% dip in cost per click revenue that the street tried to ignore. But the launch of the Universal Commerce Protocol on April 24th makes the motive clear. This is a controlled demolition of the traditional ad funnel. Google and Amazon aren't trying to improve your shopping experience. They are trying to lower their own sky-high customer acquisition costs by removing the human from the loop entirely. This structural shift moves commerce from a visibility game to an API handshake, and the underlying logistics layer is where the real margin is being hidden. An infrastructure truce between giants. The Universal Commerce Protocol is essentially a peace treaty between the three biggest silos in tech. By standardizing how a Meta-based AI agent talks to an Amazon fulfillment backend, these companies are admitting that the walled garden strategy has reached its limit. We are seeing a move toward headless commerce, where the UI is irrelevant. If an agent can negotiate a price and verify inventory via a standardized schema, the need for a flashy storefront evaporates. This isn't about open-source altruism. It is a desperate attempt to standardize the transaction layer before a third-party startup builds a middleware that bypasses them all. But the transition from human eyeballs to machine-readable data packets has a massive impact on the bidding war for intent. The Opex play behind the agent. Ignore the marketing fluff about personal assistance. Agentic commerce is an operating expense play. For Amazon, the cost of processing a human browsing for 40 minutes is significantly higher than a 3-millisecond server-to-server request. By collapsing the funnel from discovery to purchase into a single autonomous event, they are essentially automating the bottom of the P&L. The skeptical view is that they are trading high-margin ad revenue for high-volume transaction fees. It is a gamble that the sheer speed of agentic buying will offset the loss of the impulse purchase ad slot. But this assumes the agents are loyal to the ecosystem, which is exactly where Meta's new identity protocol comes into play. Meta's identity grab. Meta is joining this protocol because they realize being the billboard is a dying business. Their goal is to become the identity and payment vault for every agent. If Llama 6 can act as your proxy, Meta effectively owns the transaction intent before it ever reaches a search bar. This is a pivot from being an attention merchant to being a clearinghouse. They are banking on the fact that while Google has the data and Amazon has the box, the user already spends their digital life in Meta's social graph. By embedding commerce agents directly into the chat layer, they bypass the search funnel entirely, effectively poaching the lead from Google at the source. This shifts the balance of power from who has the best search engine to who has the most trusted digital twin. The part no one wants to say. The move to agentic commerce is the final admission that the traditional digital advertising model has reached terminal exhaustion. By building the Universal Commerce Protocol, Google, Amazon, and Meta are effectively conceding that human attention is no longer a scalable resource for growth. The real implication for operators and investors is a total repricing of the search-to-sale journey. We are transitioning from a world where you pay for clicks to a world where you pay for priority in an agent's logic tree. If your product data isn't perfectly indexed for the protocol, you simply do not exist in the new economy. This isn't a new way to shop. It is the automation of consumption. For investors, the signal under the noise is the shift from high multiple ad revenue to the more stable but lower margin utility revenue of transaction processing. Watch the Q3 hardware refresh cycles from the major phone manufacturers. The first one to bake this protocol into the local silicon will own the default gateway for the next decade of agent-to-agent transactions. Subscribe for more.